Afternoon, everybody. We'll call the June 19th Conservation Commission meeting to order. If you could read us, Paul.
All public hearings and meetings heard by the Raynham Conservation Commission on Wednesday, June 19th, 2019 at 5:30 p.m. in the Raynham Veterans Memorial Town Hall, Donald L. McKinnon Meeting Room, 558 South Main Street, Raynham, Mass. Are relative to filings and joint hearings and/or meetings under the Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, as amended, and the Town of Raynham Wetland Protection Bylaw.
All right, thank you, Paul. We're just going to jump around a little bit here for a minute, waiting for our agent. He's stuck in traffic. First one on the agenda on the formal is a continued notice of intent for DEP file 2690976, 366 South Main Street, map 11, parcel 209, Carol Meza, Carol's Care, Inc. We have a request to continue till our meeting at 7:10. Can I have a motion?
Motion to continue notice of intent, DEP file number 2690976, 366 South Main Street, map 11, parcel 209.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Second is a continued notice of intent, DEP file 269-0965, New State Highway, Church Street, map 16, parcel 55, Dan Andre, Raynham Riverwalk, LLC. They have also asked for a continuance till 7:10. Can I have a motion?
Motion to continue notice of intent, DEP file number 2690965, New State Highway, Church Street, map 16, parcel 55.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. All right, we're just going to drop down to general business now. Did everybody get a chance to review the minutes from June 5th?
Motion to accept.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to accept the minutes from June 5th. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. We have Bill.
We have two.
No, we don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you want to read it in or not.
I will.
Discuss it.
I will.
God, I love the turtles.
So maybe you could probably jump to those two, because they would never work on,
Okay.
and you're all set to go too. You can sign one.
Okay.
Yep.
Alrighty, and under correspondence, we have a letter from a resident on North Main Street asking about putting turtle crossing signs up. She has stopped in the middle of the road twice to save a couple turtles, and people are flying right by her. So she's inquiring about putting turtle crossing signs up on North Main Street.
Mr. Chairman, they then forwarded it to Highway Department, and that's why we got it.
Yeah.
So he said.
Do we know the area of North Main, or? No.
I don't think we do anything with
Well,
it.
it's where the turtle sign is.
Where the wetlands are on each side.
It's Raynham, it's all wetlands. That's why you're here.
I was at a hearing in Westport, very similar to this, and we had an abutter get up and say, could we move turkey crossing signs so that the turkeys would cross somewhere other than in front of the house? Not kidding. Not kidding. That's the turkeys.
I was thinking it too.
So I think, Mr. Chairman, as
Do
we
we have a
talk,
budget for turtle signs?
I didn't receive this.
but, I mean, I don't even know, I think we should talk to Ed Buckley before.
I don't know whose heading that would come under, ours, to mandate the sign, or if it would be something highway would,
Do it.
because they're having traffic issues. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Mr. Chairman, we possibly, I know it's not a quick fix right now, but I know a couple of years ago, we did the signs for the conservation areas through our fund that we have that we can tap into.
Yeah.
Don't know if this is something else we can tap into that fund, but I think to use those funds, we had to have an article in the town warrant, if I'm not
Yes, we
mistaken.
did. Yep.
If
Yeah.
we do, so I
I
don't know if
believe the
this.
highway has their own sign-making capability for a regular traffic signs. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, we could ask that resident to make some signs and we'll put them up.
Yeah.
Was there any response? Did they say
I got
anything?
nothing.
You just got the,
I just got the
Just email and-
Yeah.
today.
Tell, I would suggest that we tell Mr. Buckley that we agree that there should be turtle crossing signs there, so go ahead and do it.
Do you want to make that as a motion?
I'll make that as a motion.
Second.
Can you restate it so Dawn can stop up?
Highway tag.
I suggest we talk to Ed
the-
Buckley first. And
Well, he asked us to confer on this, correct? Okay, so we conferred. We agree with his assessment that there should be signs there and give him authorization to go and do so.
Okay, that's the motion.
Second.
Seconded? Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous.
And we'll hear from Ed next week.
All right,
back to formal.
back to formal. First up is continued notice of intent for DEP file 269-0978, 1255 New State Highway, map 15, parcel 76-41-MT, lot development LLC.
Some maps.
Good evening. For the record, my name is Dan Aguirre. I'm a senior project manager at SciTech Engineering with addresses in Dartmouth, Fall River, and Marshfield. We were here 2 weeks ago, I believe, with the initial presentation of the expansion project at the location that you all know as Marshfield Subaru. Intent included three main components, and I know the chairman was not here at the last meeting, so I'll just go through what the proposal is quickly. To the right-hand side of the plan, you see an existing conditions plan, existing building shaded in tan, infiltration basins shaded in blue. Green would be vegetated area, and then the tan, light tan area, yellowish, would be the bordering vegetated wetland that had been approved under the previous ANRAD application. So the application that we presented to the commission and discussed at the last hearing was, you'll see on the plan to the left being a proposed condition where we would be constructing an addition to the far east of the building that would service as a drive-in service bay, similar to what we have over at Nissan now. So now there is this canopy area where you still drive outside, you'll leave your vehicle or park somewhere. So over that canopy and over that paved section, we're proposing an enclosed drop-off area for service. Now, these are mandated improvements by Subaru, so that this isn't something that the owners of the project have taken this on themselves, but they've got pressure over the last 2 years and 3 years, and we're running out of time with trying to accommodate them. So the first proposal is the construction of that addition, which actually falls out of the buffer zone, but it's still part of this application. To the south end of the building, you'll see shaded another pink proposed addition, which would be additional garage bays. And on the left-hand plan, you would see that, and that would fall over these additional, these existing paved parking areas along the back of the building. We figured while we were coming in here and we were displacing some spaces here and some parking spaces up in this location with the revision of this driveway, we were needing to put those vehicles somewhere, and what we've proposed is the expansion of the parking area. You'll see to the top left corner, of the plan, which would be the northwest corner. This would be the existing condition state again, and then you see that we've pushed, or proposed, pushing that paved surface out towards the wetland and actually lifting off this existing bordering vegetated wetland with a replication area shown adjacent to it.
Maps.
Again, as I stated, we have two infiltration ponds that were constructed when the initial project was developed. What we are proposing to do is basically reconstruct those, connecting them, and basically quadrupling the amount of infiltration area that we have to far exceed anything that we would need for the additional paved surface that we're proposing up in the northwest corner. The two ponds needed some drastic maintenance, so we would be reconstructing them, pulling all the sediment out of the bottom, replanting the bottom, new riprap inlets, new spillways, the addition of a storm scepter manhole. Currently, there is a paved swale of the back corner of this parking lot where this water just runs down off the pavement into this infiltration basin with no treatment. In that location, we're proposing the installation of a new storm scepter, so that'll clean up that water quality issue as well. So again, the pond is greatly expanded. The new parking area will drain back down through the existing drainage system, and there are two Vortechnics units that are there currently and were installed originally as water treatment devices, and those have been cleaned quite often, but they'll be cleaned again through the construction process. So no additional catch basins or piping is required for that back corner. We wanted to ensure that no water was directed away from the site towards the wetland, so where water is coming back to the site into the existing drainage system and then into those infiltration ponds. As you see on the plan, this is the closest location now to the bordering vegetated wetland that the existing infiltration pond is. What we proposed is coming from that point, holding a 15-foot no-touch zone, as you see on the proposed plan, all the way around the detention facility, and the proposal of concrete block wall around the proposed parking area to minimize the amount of fill and to minimize the amount of alteration into that bordering vegetated wetland. So that's a quick synopsis of what we discussed last meeting and the general bones of what is on the application. I did speak to Azu earlier in the day, and I would wait to hear his comments and answer any questions that the board might have.
All right, thank you. Azu,
Yeah, so I try to communicate to Dan the fact that this obviously does not qualify as a limited access project because they have a good and extensive use of their upland area, and the current and preferred DEP policy is to avoid resource alteration or filling. And I do believe that the primary reason for what they're trying to accomplish here is to do the parking, and I believe they can reconfigure the project to avoid the wetlands filling. And that's, I don't particularly see a justification to support the filling. And whereas if you remember, there was a time somebody else came along that road inquiring of the commission whether they can alter BVW resource to make a building workable. And we were, at least I know I was very adamant that the commission didn't have a basis for doing that. So I think consistency is very important. And I don't think there is an overriding reason or rationale to allow the filling. But the project can be reconfigured to, maybe even consider, because historically, for projects where it's an existing use in the commercial retail areas, you have also allowed a reduction. The one that comes to mind is also on 44, where they did the gas station. They did some work. You allowed a reduction in the 25-foot no touch because they're pretty exist. So I can see a reduction in the 25-foot no touch. But clearly, I don't think there's a basis for allowing actual filling of the resource.
Okay, thank you.
How many spaces do you gain by filling the resource?
Probably 5 or 6 up in that top corner. If we were allowed to, I spoke with one of the owners after I spoke with the zoo, and what we could do is we could create a no-touch zone around this little blip of BVW and do something like this. Probably hold, we could do 10 feet off of BVW, and again, this would be retaining wall, so there would be no grading adjacent to it. It would be
Okay.
raised up, so it would be a nice defined, clean line, so there'd be no creeping. So what that would end up doing now, this is the edge of the bordering vegetated wetland here. So this replication area would now get removed. We could continue this 15-foot no activity zone, the limit of work the way that we had it, and now follow this retaining wall that we've already proposed, and then carry that around up to that location there. So we would not be right up against the wetland with our replication, which that's where we needed to be, but we could pull these parking spaces away, proposed wall, rather than making it this way, making it internal, an inside V, rather than an outside V, so that we don't have to do that alteration of the 1,098 square feet, and the applicant has agreed to do that. I think, after speaking with the zoo earlier and listening to many of you at the last hearing, I think other than that, everything else is pretty straightforward. So if the applicant was willing to make that change, I would ask that potentially that the commission could grant a conditional approval with revised plans being reviewed by a zoo. And that way, we wouldn't technically have to come back at another hearing. I know we were here at the last meeting, but couldn't go forward because the zoo wasn't here. I'm going to be away for 2.5 weeks, leaving Saturday, so I would not be able to attend the next meeting, but I would have time to revise the plans and get them to a zoo before the end of the week. And then maybe potentially you could give it your blessing conditionally and then finalize it on a zoo's word for the next meeting.
So essentially, we give up some of our buffer zone for non-replication.
I would rather have you continue the hearing, because we still have to draft a decision anyway, and you can't act on that decision until next meeting. But I can commit to reviewing what Dan sends, and then at least advise the commission on what I think, and then we can have the decision drafted for next meeting. But I think I would rather have the hearing open, just in case, because we have the discussions, and this is a plan change, exactly.
We can't change it.
I think I'd rather have the meeting open.
But we could ask that there would be, the order could be prepared and ready for the next meeting, only because we missed the last meeting because the zoo couldn't make it. So they're starting to lose time, and they're going to lose some of this summer.
We can do that.
No, that's what
Like I said, I'll get the revised plans to a zoo before the end of this week, before I leave.
Yeah,
And
we
then
can do
hopefully
that.
you can have an order drafted, and as long as
that
the
would
zoo's
be-
happy with what the
I
revisions
have
are.
no problem with that. I just
It'll
don't
save
want
us
to
2 weeks, but that saves us 2 weeks on building permits, contractors, and at least now we can start a schedule if we know that
I don't have
potentially
a
we'll be
problem
done
giving
in
up
2
a
weeks.
few feet of no-touch to zone to save replication.
Yeah, I just have a couple questions. How high is the retaining wall?
Maybe I'll look at this thing with my glasses.
I already got mine, so.
All right, so we are going up to elevation 48.5 in this top corner. That's the high point, so all the water is running back here. And that is an existing contour of 45.
Looks like 43.
About 3.5 feet.
3.5 feet,
Yeah.
okay.
So if you look at there should be, on the construction detail sheet, there should be a detail of the segmental block wall, and I'm pretty sure it will have a guardrail on top of it as well.
Okay.
Should be on the last sheet. Yes.
The only thing I would like to see is and we've come into this issue with a few of the other companies along 44 there, where they put up retaining walls and guardrails, and they tend to forget them. And over time, a lot of stuff gets tossed over the guardrail into the wetland areas.
I have it cleaned 3 times a year.
Perfect,
I do.
perfect, great. All right.
Well, we can make that a
We can make
condition.
that part of a maintenance agreement.
Yeah, and again, these are vehicle display areas, so
Yeah.
they are kept.
But you have employees
Yeah.
walking out there and
Yeah.
taking their containers and chucking them in.
Mostly from
Human
Gas
nature.
44.
Yeah.
It blows down scratch tickets. That's what we find.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Anybody have any questions?
I got one question, and think Alice can help me out on this one. So, the current ponds that are there are not connected, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Would it be wise to create, while we're doing this, get in there for future cleaning of those, once it's connected, a maintenance plan? I know we've been trying to go that way with applicants as we go forward, to try to get
requiring them
to get a maintenance plan on file. That way, down the line, you don't have to go into
Well,
that.
The original order has an operation and maintenance plan. The problem being infiltration ponds are somewhat difficult to take care of. And then people always, they're on the fence of, do we cut them, do we not cut them? So it's a matter of just making the applicants aware that they're supposed to be kept free of debris, kept free of vegetation. So yes, it can absolutely be a condition of approval that there is a strict maintenance plan. I know the storm scepters are kept up with to keep the sediment out of them, but sometimes the ponds do get overgrown.
Yeah, because we have seen some over the years that are so overgrown that
You
we'd
don't
actually
even
have
know
them
what
file,
did that.
you know, a notice just to go clean. Where if they had just done a maintenance plan in the beginning, attached to the original file, it's there in perpetuity. So you don't have to come back and spend money to file, just to clean, you know, so.
They're always wet, so it's always animals or things in there, so that's why.
That would be my recommendation, while we have this open, we're doing this, get a maintenance plan on how you're gonna do that, whether it's annually, biannually, every other year, get this attached to it, so as you go forward, you can just do it, and not have to come back and refile if this is closed.
There is, on the last sheet, and again, I don't want to put my glasses on, but there is a fairly extensive operation and maintenance schedule on the plan itself. Okay. So incorporating the plan set into your approval like you would, should make the applicants and owners aware of what the requirements are for cleaning, cutting, and things like that.
Drew, any more comments, questions?
Just, I guess, a housekeeping thing. When you submit the revised plan, Dan,
Yeah.
can you have the surveyor also stamp the topo?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Anybody in the audience have comments, questions, concerns?
So,
No?
like, the map, which side is the porch?
I'm sorry, sir, could you just stand up to the microphone and just state your name and address?
Sorry.
It's just formality.
So I live in Forge Estate, like next to it.
Okay?
So, like, this, is this side Forge Estate located, or?
That's Nissan would be closer to you.
So on
This
this
is a
plan,
different building.
this would be Subaru, there would be Nissan, and then Nissan goes all the way up the hill to, what is that side street?
That's
Hill Street.
Hill Street.
Hill Street.
That's
So
where
then-
you're living.
So you go down Hill Street, and then you're in that first set of condos there to your right.
Yeah.
So that would be,
Where you're
like, yeah, like down over here in relation to this, actually further down.
Okay. Because they are very aggressive using the, whatever they get. Because right now, they're parking their vehicles like so in front, before they were putting in the back. Now all parking is empty and still they put vehicles in the, near the road. So when we have to take left turn, it's too dangerous, we couldn't see anything. And
Also, when you're coming out of Hill Street, the cars that are parked there in the corner,
yeah, like before
That's
they were
very
putting
big
it so
property.
far, now
Yeah.
even the parking is empty all over
Yeah.
the back, but it's so risky for some people to take turn.
That's a planning issue.
yeah,
though.
that's what I was gonna say. If you have concerns, I would go.
No, not that, but yeah, like, I just came to know which side.
Yeah, no, I
the-
mean, it's a legitimate concern about, line sight looking down the road. That is something you can talk to planning department about, or the, police department. So, all right?
Okay.
But as far as the wetlands, any questions?
So like, we are so much far from that, so.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, anybody else? All right,
Need a motion.
procedurally, how should we,
There's a motion to continue here.
just continue? Okay.
July 10th.
All right.
Motion to continue, notice of intent, DEP file number 26909781255, New State Highway map 15, parcel 17641 MT Lot Development LLC.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you very much. So, do you want me to drop the plans off here? or
Yes,
do you want me to
please.
drop- Okay. Thank you. Time is Town Hall closed Friday.
Noontime.
4 hours away. Thank you. Have a
You
good
got
night.
nights.
All right, have a good one. Have a good vacation.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is a notice of intent for South Main Street, map 14, parcel 99-1, Deer Hill Development LLC.
So this one is lot 1.
Yeah, they're all together.
Good evening, Todd Pilling from...
One second.
We've got to read these in. Alright, so. Raynham, Mass, but we've got to find lot 1.
Map 14, 0 South Main Street.
99-1,
99-1.
Yes.
that's number 1.
Okay.
That's lot number 2, which is an RDA.
Okay.
And number 3.
So you can actually, since all they are side by side on the same road,
Read all and
you
say.
can read them all and have them all open at the same time.
Okay.
Okay,
There's,
all right.
there's number 3.
And the date's correct, right? June
Yes.
12th. All right, Paul, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3.
So you just want me to read all three into the record?
Right.
Okay.
I'll go get a cup of coffee.
Get me one.
And we can just use lot 1, 2, and 3 as,
Yeah.
okay,
I'll just read
1, 2, 3 on South Main Street.
okay, all right.
In accordance with Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Town of Raynham local bylaw, the Raynham Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, June 19th, 2019, at 5:30 PM in the Donald L. McKinnon Meeting Room, the Raynham Veterans Memorial Town Hall, 558 South Main Street, Raynham, Mass., on a notice of intent filed by Deer Hill Development LLC, 730 Pleasant Street, Raynham, Mass. 02767. The applicant proposes to construct a single-family dwelling with the associated grading, utilities, driveway within the wetland buffer zones and outer 200-foot riverfront. The applicant also requires review and approval of a delineated wetland line and associated resource areas. The property is owned by Deer Hill Development LLC, 730 Pleasant Street, Raynham, Mass. 02767, and is located at 0 South Main Street, map 14, parcel 91-1. Notice number 2. In accordance with the Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Town of Raynham local bylaw, the Raynham Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, June 19th, 2019, at 5:30 PM in the Donald L. McKinnon Meeting Room in the Raynham Veterans Memorial Town Hall, 558 South Main Street, Raynham, Mass., on a requested determination filed by Deer Hill Development LLC, 730 Pleasant Street, Raynham, Mass. 02767. The applicant proposes to construct a single-family dwelling, some of the grading for which is within the 200-foot riverfront of the Forge River. The applicant also requires review and approval of a delineated vegetated wetland line and associated resource areas. The property is owned by Deer Hill Development LLC, 730 Pleasant Street, Raynham, Mass. 02767, and is located at 0 South Main Street, map 14, parcel 99-2. And the third notice, in accordance with Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, in the Town of Raynham local bylaw, the Raynham Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, June 19th, 2019, at 5:30 p.m. in the Donald L. McKinnon Meeting Room in the Raynham Veterans Memorial Town Hall at 558 South Main Street, Raynham, Mass. On notice of intent filed by Deer Hill Development LLC, 730 Pleasant Street, Raynham, Mass. 02767. The applicant proposes to construct a single-family dwelling with associated grading, utilities, driveway within the wetland buffer zones, and the outer 200-foot riverfront. The applicant also requires review and approval of a delineated wetland line and associated resource areas. The property is owned by Deer Hill Development LLC, 730 Pleasant Street, Raynham, Mass. 02767, and is located at 0 South Main Street, map 14, parcel 91-1. Let me just read that.
that's 99-3.
Now, that should be -3, but it says 99.1.
Okay.
See that?
All 99-1, 99-2.
And 99-3, it should be, but the third notice says 99-1 again. In other words, it's a mistake.
Yes, it does.
Because I have the proofs from the Gazette, and it was 1, 2, and 3, so
You have the proofs?
I do.
Can we,
Paul, can I
Just-
get the other two?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's wrong, I'm saying.
yeah, no, it's just,
I checked the proofs and told them it was okay. The only problem they had is they had public hearing all as one word, so I had to have them separated. And they had the meeting date is June 12th on 2 of them, so I had to have them change it, but the rest of them were okay. But if it's not correct, it's not correct.
Of course, the third one. Right here.
No, wait a minute. It says-
That's correct. It says 99-1 here,
Yep.
99-2, and 99-3.
That is the one I read, though.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe it's on another sheet.
We gave you the wrong one to read, Paul. So, it is,
Yes.
They all say 3.
oh, they do?
No, this is 99-3, this is 99-1, and this is 99-2. 3 different
Yeah,
locations.
we gave him, that was our fault. We gave him these as 1, 2, and handed him this to read as 3.
Okay, yeah.
It should have been down here.
So it is correct.
It is correct, it was,
Good.
the way we laid it out for him to read.
So now
It was our mistake.
All right, you already read it.
Start all over again. Start over again.
Yeah, you
It was our
already read it.
mistake, so it's correct.
Okay.
I wasn't worried.
All right, you're gonna have to share, because there's only 2. Pass that down to Will.
Which one do you want? Oh, I got.
You got another one?
Oh,
That'll help.
You want down here?
yeah, that'd be great.
It's one of each.
You have one, or? You have your own?
No, I don't need it.
Okay.
So, Todd Hilling, representing Clem Land Surveying. This project started many years ago, 15, 20 years back, where they proposed 3 houses in here. I believe Judy Christine was the agent at the time. Basically, what you see here, they got their permits, they never did anything with it. Permits all lapsed. Back in 2009 into 10, we dusted it off, created the lots, filed 2 notice intents and requests for determination. And we got an extension on that order of conditions in 2013, and it has since expired. So as part of what you're seeing here tonight, we also have 2 COC requests for lots 1 and 3 to close out the orders because no work was ever started. All they ever did was put up the erosion control, and they've just been mowing the grass ever since. These are the 3 lots right at the corner of King Philip and South Main, right down the street here. I'm sure you're all familiar with the lovely grass field. So, kind of talk about them all 3 together, so I'm glad we opened them at the same time. Forge River's on the other side of King Philip Street. So Lot 1 and part of Lot 2 is within the riverfront of the Forge River. And we did some test pits out here. The water table is extremely high, which is why the wetlands are there. We redelineated the wetlands this April because the wetland line was over 3 years old. And the plan, what you see on the plan is the correct location of the flags as done in April. And the water table is extremely high, so we're going with 4-foot foundations. You can see there's a lot of fill brought in for these houses to elevate them and keep the basements out of the water table. But ultimately, it's 3 houses in the existing grass field. The one in the middle, Lot 2, we only filed an RDA for it because it's only in some grading in the side of the house was within the 200-foot riverfront of the Forge River on the other side of King Philip Street. The other 2 are within the 100-foot wetland buffers, which is why we filed notice of intent for those. And again, it's the same plan that's basically been approved.
We have 3 over here.
The same plan's been approved before. We changed the house footprint a little bit, and obviously we updated the wetland line, but other than that, I don't know how many of you have seen it before, but that's what it is, so. And I'll open it up to any questions.
So Lot 1's driveway feeds out to King Philip?
Yes.
I want to make sure I was looking at that right.
It would have been way too close to the intersection to have put it out onto South Main Street. That would have been dangerous.
Sue, would you want to start?
I looked at them before. I think again they were consistent with what my comment on the other application. I'm not sure the purpose of the wetlands filling, and I mean, project can readily be accomplished. Leaving that alone. The on lot number what's your lot number, Ted? Lot number 99-1 there.
They're gonna fill?
Yeah, they were proposing to fill that.
Okay.
So I don't see again, especially with the residential area. I mean, I can see what they're trying to do with their sewer. It's still a proposed cleanup, so they can move that over and avoid the wetlands filling. But other than that, I don't see any problem with the project, all 3 of them.
Is that a wet, I know it's categorized as a wetland, but is this a drainage swale?
No, it is not, because it's connected across the street. And the pipe provides a hydraulic connection, so it is a wetlands.
It would be similar to the Richmond Street one,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. So, I mean, I will, again, like the other one, I can see, the other 2 locations are no-brainers, and I can see having them fix that, even if you give them a waiver on the 25-foot no touch. That's, you know.
So you're recommending a waiver?
Yeah, I just, where you can avoid, and clearly you can
Replication.
avoid, I can avoid that.
Yeah.
Because replications never quite really,
Right.
I mean, they can be done, but I've never really seen a replication that it's 100% doing exactly what an existing one does, you know?
So, Mr. Chairman, if I can speak
Go ahead.
on that
Yep.
point. So it is kind of like a drainage swale that's there, and there's the pipe that goes under, and we're assuming directly into the river. We could never find the outlet pipe. We've looked several times over a lot of years, never found it. The intention here was, instead of having this hole in the side yard that fills with debris and brush and overgrown, that if we filled it in and diverted the water to the wetlands at the rear of Lot 1, it's now going overland through the wetlands and then finding its way into the river, instead of like just a direct pipe into the river. So we were basically trying to elongate the stormwater treatment train for the water. This isn't, as Azu said, we don't need to do it. It's not we have to have it in order to get the house. It's basically a big hole in everybody's front yard. Now that we're elevating the yards, it's gonna look even deeper of a hole, so it seemed to make sense just to divert the water around and make the water take longer to get into the wetland and into the river.
Okay. Anybody on the commission have questions?
No.
Arzu, you're saying, give a waiver for lot
One.
1 for the 25-foot no touch?
Yeah. I understand what Todd is saying, but I just think, that's my recommendation.
So
But I'm not and if you want to allow the film, I'm not adverse to it, but I just don't think, I'd like to be consistent with how we pursue these policies. You know, where you can't, it's not like a limited access project where they have to cross wetlands to get to their upland, yeah. I look at it as more trying to make the
Aesthetics.
properly marked, right, that's how I look at it. But that's what you have, and they recognized the function of that by establishing its location, so.
So,
is the 25, right? No, that's erosion control here.
how many feet are we talking
I don't know.
Which one?
about? How many feet, what are we talking about? We're waiving 25, how many feet are we actually waiving? For intrusion into the 25, right?
Yeah, you're right, at the back, on lot number 1,
Yep.
the back of the garage is basically feet from the 25 no touch.
You mean lot 2?
99-1?
Oh, the back of the garage, okay, all right, exactly.
Yeah. That's the one we'd give the waiver for the 25 no touch.
Mr. Chairman, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, these lots predate our bylaw, which the 25-foot no-touch would not impact them.
That is not true.
No.
We created these in 2009.
Yeah,
They were recreated
yeah.
and deeded over again, or is it the
Yes.
same?
We went to the planning board and created the lots as part of a conservation subdivision, so that we could give the backland to the Conservation Commission.
But if I'm not mistaken, our bylaw didn't take effect till after 2009. So, 'cause I was on the commission when we
When we drafted it,
drafted
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I've been on the commission about 6-7 years
We-
now, so.
Yeah, we had,
So I know we're trying to accommodate a 25-foot no-touch, but that might be a moot point if these were done
In fact-
prior to our bylaw. We just need to take that into consideration as we move forward.
It's also lawn area that's gonna be returned to lawn. We're not disturbing trees or building retaining walls or any of that kind of stuff. It's lawn going to lawn, it's just gonna be at a 3-to-1 slope instead of flat.
2013.
2013. So,
So that area there, like I said, I can see giving it 25, within 25, but if you look at that area there, there's a natural depression there, right now.
I think he's referring to this.
I'm looking at a sheet about the one for 99-1.
Right.
Okay.
He's looking at this, I think.
Okay. Yeah, so there is a natural, you look at the topography, there's a natural hole right there. You fill that, you're not creating the same hole on the other side. You may be creating a surface area that provides for replication, but it doesn't provide for the proper hydraulic function of that area. They're not gonna be recreating that hole in that area. So I think you wanna be giving it 25-foot, if you're gonna give any concession, with the 25 feet, but don't allow the filling.
yeah, I agree with you on that one, Azu. Anybody have anything else?
No, I just think we're splitting hairs between the back and the front, where this, the wetland area is. I see where Azu's coming from, but I know we've had other situations where they wanted to do the replication on a different lot. And this is actually all still in the same lot. I know we had an applicant one time wanted to fill the wetland, replicate on a different lot, which we said no to because it wasn't the same lot. But this one here is the same lot.
You're not talking surface area versus surface area. Look at the contours. You have this, and you're filling that. Over there, they're giving you the same surface area. They don't have the same hydraulic function. They don't have the same. If this was a floodplain, you have to provide compensatory storage. It's not a floodplain, but you have a volume. You're trying to displace that volume.
You're not just wiping out a surface area and adding it to the back. You're filling in a natural depression, which is, like as I was saying, part of the equal balance between the whole area. It's not as simple as we need to cross this wetlands to get to our uplands. This is just kind of aesthetics, and
You're doing both surface and volume. That's what you're doing. You're not just doing surface.
If I can just elaborate for a second, I didn't go back far enough in the history of this. Back in the 1990s when Judy Christine was on the board, there used to be a stream that came into this 18-inch pipe. That stream was relocated into the wetlands, and it's in the wetlands and now flows across King Philip Street at a different location. That's why it's an 18-inch pipe. It's a really big pipe for such a small drainage area going into it. So that stream is no longer there, but they left the opening for it. So, Azu is right as far as different volumes and stuff go. It is different volume, but given the high water table out here, we can't go and create a hole somewhere else to be filled with water, so we'd have to have a drain to drain the bathtub continuously, so. But I don't know if that, an 18-inch pipe is really big. You don't usually see those unless you get a lot of water, but.
So are you saying that there was a stream one time where this
Yes,
wetland
that stream is now in the wetlands. It was diverted. That was, again, a long time ago.
So, but where this pipe actually is on King Philip Street and the little area that we're talking about of the wetland, that was part of the stream?
That was where the stream went under King Philip Street to get to the Forge River, yes. The stream is now running in the wetlands. It's an intermittent stream. It's not on the plans, because it's not, but it was all filled in and diverted back in the 90s, 80s, 80s, 90s, way back. So again, if we need to keep it, we'll keep it. It's not the end of the world. It was just a matter of, like I said, we thought we were improving stormwater by sending the water around and through a wetland and across lawn to get there instead of in a direct pipe discharge to the river, so. But it's not, the whole project isn't hanging on this, so it's not a deal breaker.
I wish, and you said you haven't been able to find the outlet to this pipe? So for all we know, it's caved in.
Part of the problem is there's so little water draining into that pipe that there's not enough to push out on the other side so you can see a running river on the other end, It's, what's the drainage area, 1,000 square feet going into an 18-inch pipe, so.
Well, not according to your contours, Todd. If you look at your contours, your contours go back all the way to 29, 28. And that are all swales right down to that location. And then the road will act like a dike for that. With your if you look at your 24 contour, and then everything starts expanding from there, but it all swirls down there. So in actuality, if you're making an argument, in actuality, your building is what is going to be impeding the natural flow of water in that direction. Just looking at your topography.
you're bringing everything up there. You're acting as a dike.
Yeah.
Right, so that's why we put the pipe under the driveway.
The filling of the lot is acting as a barrier.
Correct, which is why we put the pipe under the driveway on lot 1, to let the water go through to the wetlands.
But then there's no drainage, see, and this is what you're missing here though. Because now, under the Wetlands Protection Act, you don't need stormwater management for individual house lots, especially on Form A's. But then, you haven't submitted any drainage calculation that actually says that that part, that where you're relocating it, will provide the same equivalent function. You know? So if we're pushing this, that's why I'm saying that the actual grading of the lot is actually impeding the natural flow of water that's going that way right now. But anyway, I think I've made myself clear.
All right, anybody else? Anybody in the audience? All right,
Mr. Chairman, just so you know, I haven't received any DEP file numbers on the 2 notice of intents, so
Okay.
we would not be able to close tonight. It would have to be continued.
Right.
But the RDA for lot 2 could still be acted on.
Yeah.
Which is lot 2.
And again, that was only an RDA because you can see it's just a little bit of the riverfront that we're talking about, so.
Continue the other 2 and go to RDA.
Well, but that RDA, okay.
Right.
Yeah, so if you issue a negative determination for that, you have to make a note that does not imply your approval of the wetlands filling, because the wetlands filling is shown on that plan as well.
It is, yeah.
Well, if you'd like, I mean, if we're gonna continue lots 1 and 3, and if the commission doesn't want the wetlands filled, we can obviously revise the plan to show that, and then you can vote on all 3 at the same time, because whether you approve 2 tonight and 1 and 3, we're not gonna start them until we start them all at the same time, so. If
okay,
that's the
I'm gonna
board's-
leave that up to you then. Since there's no DEP numbers for lot 1 and 3, would you like to continue the hearing until we receive the DEP numbers for those 2 and close it all out as one?
Yes, we would ask for continuance for all 3 lots, yes.
Okay, that makes it easier. All right.
I have a question on lot 2. If that wetland is still there, can we issue an RDA on that lot? We're gonna
Because
be waiving the 25-foot no touch because he's proposing grading inside that. Can you do that as part of an RDA?
Oh, on that one there, when you do that, what you're doing is effectively waiving your 25-foot no touch.
Does that answer your question, Will? Or?
I guess. I don't see why we'd handle it any differently than the other 2. That's my question.
Say that
Or
we,
my point.
yeah, we did the same, what we did here is exactly the same thing we've done 4 times now. We were just repeating the same motions, but, I mean, it wasn't that it was intentionally trying to make it less than the others. It's just it was always kind of lesser than the other 2 lots. But
So, question to the, word of thought for the board. On lot number 1, are we going to say where the erosion control is going to be the limit of work in the edge of the wetlands for that lot and require signage?
it is labeled on the plan as limit of work and erosion control, but obviously I don't have signage shown on the plan.
Well, you would have to have that. If we waive the 25, then he doesn't have to replicate. Is
Yeah.
that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying, Nazem? That if we waive the 25, he doesn't need to replicate. We can avoid the replication.
Well, no, because it doesn't fill the wetlands.
Okay.
Right. So you have total keep the filling out.
No, what I'm saying is, if we leave the project on lot number 1 as printed on this sheet, we should still have signage where the proposed erosion control line is to prevent people from, in the future, continuing down to the 2 wetlands.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you'd also have to have it.
Yes, it would also have to be on Lot 2 because of that back corner.
No, I mean, the front vegetated wetland.
Yes, if we don't fill it. If we leave it as is, as suggested by Azu, we'd have to have signage there to protect the two areas. So, all right, anybody else? Motion to continue?
We need 3 then, right?
So you can make a motion to continue all three of them, but reading the numbers.
Yeah, just read the lot numbers.
Address, yeah.
All right, motion to continue notice of intent, South Main Street, map 14, partial 99-1, Deer Hill Development. Motion to continue, request for determination, South Main Street, map 14, partial 99-2, Deer Hill Development, and motion to continue notice of intent, South Street, 14, partial 99-3, Deer Hill Development.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Until July.
Opposed?
Continue
Unanimous.
to July
Oh.
10th.
July 10th?
July 10th.
All right, thank you.
Do you want to deal with COCs tonight too, or do you want to wait until July 10th to deal with them also?
You could do it.
They're all on here. We're gonna get, they're all done, okay?
You can do it.
But do you want to just stay informal, just to sign this order of conditions, and then go into informal? Or do you want to jump around
Yeah,
for Hill Street?
yeah.
I'm sorry. Oh, it's the same?
It's informal. We got to issue this one.
We're going to issue the order of
Oh,
conditions.
yeah, okay.
Do that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was,
And then we go right into the informal and the certificate of compliance.
Yep, okay.
Take 2 seconds.
okay. Next on the agenda is issuance of order of conditions, DEP file 269-0979, 426 Hill Street, map 17, parcel 106-0, Roy Higgins.
Okay, Mr.
This is
Chairman.
done,
It is done.
so we just need a motion to issue, right?
You're right.
Right.
Was the hearing closed last meeting?
Yeah.
Yes.
Motion to issue order of conditions, DP file number 269-0979, 426 Hill Street, map 17, parcel 106.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, we did have issues with this order, okay? And I've been getting calls from the lawyers, from the homeowner, from everybody, okay? They want it immediately.
Oh,
The sewer department actually called me, and they want me to give them permission so when he can start. He's got to,
you gotta
I don't
close it.
think he's going to wait the 10-day appeal period. I think he's going to record it right away.
That's up to him.
Okay? But he thinks he's going to start Monday morning with the sewer department. Okay? He has to put up his erosion control, he has to put up his DEP sign, he's got to come in and sign that they've read the order of conditions and all of that.
And he's aware of all that.
Everybody is aware of it, okay? But I'm just going to tell you that sewer department is waiting for me. Once that is all done, he thinks, because they want to close tomorrow.
Okay.
But I just want you to be aware, I'm going to hold it all back until all the work gets done.
Okay.
So we can expect a call.
I had the buyer's attorney call me, and I explained step by step for him, okay? And I told him, work it out with the lenders, let them do something with it. He goes, oh, they don't let you do that anymore. And I says, yes, they do. We've had a few that we've done it with, so.
It's a process.
It's the process. And like you said, it should have been an RDA. Lou told him it should have been an RDA, and he filed a notice of intent.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
I will go by Sunday and make sure that things are in place if they start taking it on Monday.
Now we can go into informal.
All righty. request for an extension of an order of conditions, DEP file 269-928, Lot 2, Pleasant Street, map 9, parcel 192A.
Mr. Chairman, we received a letter to continue it. Okay, this is the lot, everybody knows Lot 2 on Pleasant Street?
Yep.
Okay. And has you reviewed everything?
Okay.
Is this the one right by the overpass?
Yes. Yes, correct.
So they're not ready to go, so they just want an extension?
Yes, because it expires in
Okay.
September.
Do you want me to explain?
You're
No.
here for,
Well, he's here for it, for Mr.,
On behalf of,
yep, go ahead, if you want to say something, that's fine.
I can answer any questions.
So no Britain?
My name's David Michael. I'm the Realtor with Jack Conway and Company that represents Mr. Landy, the owner of the lot. And it's, the purchase and sales is signed by both parties. There's a buyer that's going to be purchasing the lot. He's not ready to construct a single-family house yet, but the current order of conditions expires this September. So one of the buyer's contingencies was that he wanted to make sure that the order of conditions is extended first, so that he doesn't need to go through the entire process again to do it. So that's
Okay.
that's where we're at right now.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I do have one question, and Azu, he may have an answer. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this was the lot that was kind of a little messy, where we had some debris in the existing culvert, and it was kind of clogging up, the neighbor and stuff. Was that ever rectified?
They tried, and I think it makes sense that if we really have somebody who wants to develop the property, that's been part of the problem. That the guy that we gave the order of conditions to originally didn't own the property, and then just kind of decided to back out. So basically, you want somebody that actually,
Yeah.
and so he started doing the work on a PNS, but never really, so the responsibility fell back to the owner of the land,
Okay.
who
So-
didn't really propose to build the
I
house.
just have one question to
Yeah.
that. Didn't we do an order,
An enforcement order.
enforcement order?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, we
I
did.
believe we did.
Send them letters of violation.
Yes, we
Letter of
did.
violation.
So
Not
that
every-
has to be conveyed, that there is a,
It wasn't an
Well, it was not an
enforcement
enforcement order. The commissions asked that we send them a letter. And we send them a letter, telling them if they don't do X, Y, and Z, that
we
you
never voted on an order.
An enforcement order, no.
Okay, all right. That's what I'm beginning.
Are you understanding what the issue was? Pre-existing?
I do remember, I was here at that meeting as well. As far as I know, Mr. Landy himself did try to or correct whatever the blockage was. in
Yeah, 'cause
that-
I think
in the dry
it was like a
stream.
natural
There were some logs, I believe.
swale, yeah, and
that
it looked like between all the heavy rain we had, a lot of soils and sediment got wrapped up around those logs.
Correct.
And kind of just clogged up the whole thing, so now water wasn't flowing easily, and I think there was some water that was clogging up on the house next door.
Right. As far as I know, it's been corrected according to him.
And may I say,
You know.
Mr. Chairman, that the buyer has come in and looked at the plan itself, and he's looked at all the paperwork, and he is aware of the issues over there.
Okay.
Okay, all right,
As long as there's nothing hidden, as long as everybody knows what's going on.
all right, can I have a motion then?
Motion to grant an extension of order of conditions, DEP file number 269-928. That's not right, it should be 0928, right?
On the original order of conditions, it is 0928.
Okay. Lot 2, Pleasant Street, map
Yes.
9, partial 192A.
Second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman,
Thank you.
send the signatures.
And Gail, you said at the July 10th meeting, it will be signed off?
Actually, I have it prepared for tonight,
Oh, okay.
so I'll be doing all the paperwork on it tomorrow.
Okay.
We usually send the original to the applicant. Is that what he wants? It has to be recorded.
Yes.
Okay. I send the original to the applicant, and I'll send you a copy.
Is it easier for me to just come in and pick up a copy tomorrow?
Not tomorrow. It would have
okay.
to be Friday before noon time. I have to get the paperwork set up that you're gonna sign for everything.
Okay.
I'd rather, and if you could, shoot me an email saying, Mr. Landry has given you permission to come in and pick it up.
Would you rather me pick it up than mail?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm going to do them all certified. I do them all certified mail and put them in the mail on Friday.
So he'll get a copy anyway, regardless?
Yes.
In the mail, and then you just want permission from him that it's okay for me to
Pick up the original to record.
Okay.
All right?
All right, great.
Okay.
And that gets recorded at the Registry of Deeds?
Correct.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right, next on the agenda is request for certificate of compliance, DEP file 269-08600 South Main Street, map 14, parcel 99-3, King Philip Realty Trust.
Do you want me to say a few words? Or I
up
think
to you,
I already
sir.
said it, so.
It's up to you.
No, I already said it. We never did anything from
Yep.
2009, so we're looking to close them out.
Okay, Azu, good? All right,
So-
motion?
So we've only got two, though, 99.3, 99.1.
Yes, because lot 2 was a request for determination, so.
Okay,
So you want to just do them both at the same time then?
okay.
The certificate of compliance saying that the order has expired, it's an invalid order, not that the work was done.
Correct.
So you're not issuing a certificate for work completed.
Okay, so the motion wasn't completed. So
Right, issue a certificate that the work was never commenced and the order has since expired.
the order has since expired, the work was never completed, so we're going to issue a certificate of compliance, DEP file number 2690860, South Main Street, map 14, parcel 99-3, King Philip. On the second one, the same situation, the work was never completed, was never done, so the request for a certificate of compliance is approved for DEP file number 2690861-0, South Main Street, map 14, partial 99-1.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor for lot
99.3,
99-3?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Unanimous. Lot number 99-1?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, unanimous from both.
I can just ask a question. I was talking to the client in the hall while we had our little break here, and apparently back in the 80s and 90s, it was Hayward, Boynton, and Williams, and they did all the drainage calcs and went through all the effort for relocating the stream, so I believe all that information's already in the commission's files. How hard is it to get a file from the 80s, because Hayward, Boynton, and Williams isn't around anymore?
Do you know the DEP file number?
We can find it, yeah.
If you find me the DEP file number, I can try to find it.
Okay.
No promises, but I can try to.
No, I know, well, let's say, because I believe all this work was already done, so it was, one of those things, so.
Okay.
I just don't have access to it.
Yeah.
And DEP, of course, good luck. It's a mountain to find it.
Well, if it's, we got a DEP file number, we can
We can
find
try
it.
it. We
If
can
there's
try and
anything
find
else,
it.
we can't.
That was a whole different time.
Wild West. All right, thank you.
All
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, they're all set to go, and you can, and to be
We can
signed.
sign those, okay.
Okay. Well, let's just do this and we can sign all three. Request for certificate of compliance, DEP file number 269-0244-46, River Street, map 18, parcel 23A, Mark Karsner. Very good, thank you. That's it?
That's it.
That's it? No more?
Are we okay with it?
That's it?
Yes.
Good?
I'll make a motion to issue the certificate of compliance for DEP file number 269-0244-46, River Street, map 18, parcel 23A, Mark Karsner.
All in favor?
Aye.
You need a second?
Oh,
Second.
second, I'm sorry.
Second.
Second. Now all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. You're used to being the second guy, so I got confused.
Sorry, I'll stay the course next time and just do my second.
What are your roles? Anybody have anything else while we're signing here? Mazu? Do you have any questions, comments, concerns? No? Wow. All right. Paul?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded by Kevin. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.